Welcome back to the Billionaire Rabbi channel. I am Rabbi David, and today I want to share with you one of the most powerful principles I have discovered in my 30 years of studying both Torah and wealth creation. This is not just another financial tip or stock market strategy. What I'm about to teach you comes directly from ancient Jewish wisdom, and it has transformed the lives of thousands of people who have applied it. If you are ready to learn how to set your money up once and then have it work for you forever without constant effort, then stay with me until the end of this video. I want to start by introducing you to something that has been life-changing for so many people. I created the Torah Millionaire Business School, and you can find it right now at billionaireRabbi.com/school. This program is divided into multiple phases that take you from zero to hero in terms of understanding Jewish principles of wealth creation. Today's video teaches a foundational concept that is covered deeply in Phase 1, where we build your mindset and understanding about how money truly works. The link is in the comments and in the description below. Let me begin with a story. There was a man named Aaron who came to me about 5 years ago. He was working 60 hours a week, exhausted, stressed, and barely making ends meet. He would make some money, spend it, and then have to work harder the next month to make it again. It was a hamster wheel, and he was stuck on it. He asked me the same question I hear from thousands of people. Rabbi David, why do some people seem to have money working for them while I have to work for every single penny? That is when I shared with him the principle I am about to share with you today. The core principle is this: you must create systems of passive generation. Now, I know you have heard this term before. Everyone talks about passive income these days. But here is what most people get wrong. They think passive income means doing nothing. That is not what it means. Passive income means you do the work once, and then the system generates income without your constant involvement. This is the difference between trading your time for money and building a machine that generates money for you. In the Torah, we see this principle all throughout the scriptures. When the ancient priests set up the temple system, they did not have to perform every ritual themselves every day. They created a structure, trained others, and then the system perpetuated itself. Think about it this way. When you work a job, you trade 8 hours of your life for a paycheck. If you do not show up to work, you do not get paid. You are stuck in an exchange. Time equals money. But when you build a system, you create something that generates value without your constant time investment. This could be a business that runs without you, an investment that pays you dividends, or content that generates revenue on its own. The beauty of this principle is that it applies to every single person, regardless of your current income level or your starting situation. The first step in creating this system is understanding what I call the setup phase. This is where you do the concentrated work. You might spend anywhere from a few weeks to a few months preparing and establishing your system. This could mean writing a book, creating an online course, building a software tool, or establishing an investment portfolio. The key here is intentionality. You cannot just randomly hope something becomes passive. You must strategically design it. In our Torah Millionaire Business School Phase 2, we teach you exactly how to identify which system is right for your unique skills and situation. This is where many people fail because they try to copy someone else's system instead of building one that leverages their own strengths. Let me give you a practical example. Let's say you are an expert in something. Maybe you are an accountant, a teacher, a mechanic, or a marketing specialist. That expertise is your asset. The first step is to document that expertise. Write it down, create a guide, record videos, build a course. This is the setup phase, and yes, it requires effort. But this effort is different from the endless effort of a job. This effort has a finish line. You are building something with lasting value. Once you have documented your expertise and created the system around it, you can then sell that knowledge repeatedly without having to rediscover it every single time. Now, here is where most people stumble. They think the setup phase is too hard, so they quit. They think they do not have time, or they think they lack the skills to create something. This is where I want to challenge you. If you can learn anything once and explain it to someone else, you have the ability to create passive income. You have the ability to build a system. The question is not whether you can do it. The question is whether you will do it. The second critical component of this principle is what I call the leverage phase. Once your system is established and working, you need to leverage it. This means finding ways to multiply its effectiveness without multiplying your effort. For example, if you have created an online course, you do not teach it live once a week. Instead, you let the course sell automatically through your website. You do not serve customers individually if you can create a community where they serve each other. You do not answer the same questions 1,000 times if you can create a frequently asked questions document or video series that does the answering for you. This is leverage, and it is absolutely essential. In the Torah Millionaire Business School Phase 3, we dive deep into leverage strategies specific to different business models and industries. We teach you how to use technology, systems, and other people to multiply the impact of your work without multiplying your hours. This is where the true wealth comes in. Because here is the reality. Your time is finite. Even if you work 24 hours a day, you still only have 24 hours. But your leverage can be infinite. Your course can reach thousands of people. Your investment can generate dividends for decades. Your business system can continue serving customers long after you have stopped actively working in it. Let me share with you what happened with Aaron after he applied these principles. Aaron was a skilled fitness trainer. He was making decent money, but he was exhausted from training clients 8 hours a day. I encouraged him to create a home fitness course. He spent 3 months filming, editing, and building the course. It was hard work. He almost quit 3 times, but he pushed through. Today, 4 years later, that course generates $20,000 per month on complete autopilot. He recorded it once. He set up the system once. And now it works for him forever. He still trains a few clients because he loves it, but he is no longer dependent on it for income. His money is working for him. Now, I want to address the elephant in the room. You might be thinking, Rabbi David, this sounds great, but I do not have the technical skills to build an online course or a software or whatever. Here is what I want you to understand. The technical skills are not the barrier. The barrier is your belief that it is too hard. Today, we have tools that make this easier than ever before. You can hire someone to film your course for a few $100s. You can use platforms that handle all the technical setup. You can outsource the parts you cannot do. The key is getting started. Do not let perfectionism or the fear of not knowing every step paralyze you. In Jewish wisdom, there is a concept called Shemitah, which refers to the sabbatical year. Every 7 years, the land was allowed to rest. But here is what many people do not understand about Shemitah. It was not about laziness. It was about trusting that the systems you had put in place would continue to work and generate value even without your constant intervention. It was about having faith in the foundation you had built. This is exactly the mindset you need when building your passive income systems. You're not trying to avoid work. You're trying to build something that works for you. Here is another critical principle I want to share with you. Your passive income system must solve a real problem or fulfill a real need. This is non-negotiable. You cannot build something that serves nobody and expect it to generate income. Think about what frustrates you. Think about what people ask you for help with regularly. Think about where you see people struggling. That frustration or that struggle is likely pointing toward a viable passive income opportunity. Your job is to create a solution and put it into the world. The market will tell you if your solution has value. Let me give you another example. A woman named Sarah came to one of my workshops. She was a nutritionist, and she noticed that all her clients kept asking the same questions about meal planning. She created a meal planning application that generates personalized meal plans based on dietary restrictions and health goals. She spent about 1,000 hours building it over the course of a year. Today, that application generates $300,000 per year. Yes, it took 1,000 hours. But those 1,000 hours generated $300,000 per year, year after year. That is a return that far exceeds most job opportunities. And now the application essentially runs itself. She has a small team maintaining it, but she is not involved in the day-to-day operation anymore. The critical insight here is this: the time you invest in building your system upfront is multiplied across the lifetime of the system. If you invest 1,000 hours and it generates income for 30 years, that is incredibly efficient use of your time. Compare that to a job where you invest 8 hours per day for 30 years and you simply trade your time for daily wages. There is no comparison. The passive system is far superior. Now, I want to talk about the third component of this principle, the maintenance phase. Once your system is built and leveraged, it still requires some maintenance. This is important to understand. Passive income is not truly passive in the sense that you completely disappear. But it requires far less active management than a job or a traditional business. For example, if you have built an online course, you might need to update it twice a year to keep the content current. If you have an investment portfolio, you might need to rebalance it once or twice annually. If you have a business running on systems, you might need to check in on it monthly to ensure everything is running smoothly. This maintenance phase is critical because neglecting your system will cause it to deteriorate. In the Torah Millionaire Business School, we teach Phase 2 and Phase 3 with deep focus on not just building these systems, but maintaining them for the long term. You learn how to structure your business, your investments, and your assets in ways that require less and less active involvement over time. You learn delegation. You learn how to hire and manage people. You learn how to build redundancy so that if one part of your system fails, the whole thing does not collapse. These are skills that transform someone from busy and stressed into peaceful and prosperous. Let me share the most important principle I have learned in all my years. Most people fail at creating passive income systems, not because they lack ability, but because they lack patience and commitment. They start building a system, encounter the first real challenge, and they quit. They go back to their job. They go back to trading time for money. They convince themselves that passive income is for other people, not for them. This is where the real battle is fought. It is not a battle of intelligence or skill. It is a battle of persistence and belief. This is what the Torah teaches us. The ancient rabbis understood that great things require sustained effort over time. Nothing valuable is created overnight. Consider the parable of the mustard seed from the New Testament, which parallels teachings in the Mishnah. A tiny seed, when planted and cared for, grows into a large tree, but you do not see that tree overnight. You water it, you wait, You believe in the process even when you do not see immediate results. That is exactly what building a passive income system is like. You do the work, you trust the process, and eventually you have a tree that provides shelter, fruit, and shade for years to come. Here is what I want you to do right now. Do not wait until next week or next month. Do not wait until you feel fully ready. Right now, today, I want you to identify one area of expertise or skill that you have. Just one. Write it down. Then, I want you to write down 3 problems this skill could solve for other people. Then, I want you to identify what format would best communicate this skill to people who need it. Is it a course? Is it a book? Is it a service? Is it a software? Is it a coaching program? Just identify the format. That is all. You do not need to commit to the entire project today. Just identify the format and the problem you would solve. That is your starting point. The reason I am asking you to do this now is because most people never take action. They watch videos, they feel inspired for a moment, and then they go back to their regular life. I do not want that to be you. I want you to be someone who actually does something with the knowledge you receive. I want you to be someone who builds. I want you to be someone who creates systems that work for them. Now, let me share with you how technology has made this easier than it has ever been before. 20 years ago, if you wanted to create a passive income system, you had limited options. You had to write a book, which meant dealing with publishers and distribution challenges. You had to create a physical product, which meant managing inventory and shipping. You had to start a service business, which was still fairly active. Today, you can create a digital course and reach millions of people. You can write a book and publish it instantly. You can create software that serves customers automatically. You can build an online community that generates revenue through memberships. The tools exist. The barriers have been removed. The only barrier left is you. I want to address one more thing, and this is important. When you build a passive income system, you must make sure it is in alignment with your values and your purpose. If you are simply chasing money for money's sake, your system will be hollow and unfulfilling. But if you are building something that genuinely helps people, something that solves real problems and makes the world better, then your system will be strong and sustainable. This is the Jewish approach to business. We do not simply accumulate wealth for personal consumption. We accumulate wealth so that we can give. We accumulate wealth so that we can serve. We accumulate wealth so that we can provide for our families and our communities. When Aaron built his fitness course, he was not just thinking about the money. He was thinking about the thousands of people who would benefit from learning proper form and fitness techniques from home. He was thinking about busy parents who could not afford personal training but could afford his course. He was thinking about people in rural areas who did not have access to quality fitness instruction. His system solved a real problem. That is why it has thrived. That is why it continues to generate income today. I need to emphasize again something that will change your life if you let it. The Torah Millionaire Business School is not just about making money. It is about understanding the principles that govern how money flows in this world. Phase 1 teaches you the mindset. Phase 2 teaches you the strategies. Phase 3 teaches you the implementation. By the time you complete the program, you will have a complete roadmap for building wealth that works for you. You can access it right now at billionaireRabbi.com/school. The link is in the comments and in the description below. Do not delay. The sooner you start, the sooner your money will work for you forever. Here is something else I want you to understand. Your passive income system does not have to be complicated. Many people think they need to build something massive and complex. That is not true. Some of the most profitable passive income systems are quite simple. One person I know built a simple spreadsheet tool that thousands of people now use. He charges $5 a month for it. He has 10,000 subscribers. That is $50,000 per month from a spreadsheet he built in a weekend. Another person I know writes a newsletter twice a month about sustainable living. She has 5,000 paid subscribers at $10 per month. That is $50,000 per month from writing twice a month. See how simple this can be. The key is not complexity. The key is solving a real problem and then monetizing that solution. Do not overthink this. Do not wait for the perfect idea. Do not wait until you have created something that will revolutionize the world. Start with something simple. Start with something that solves a real problem. Start with something you are genuinely interested in. Build it. Put it out there. Learn from the feedback. Improve it. That is the process. Let me give you a framework to think about your passive income system. First, identify your asset. What do you have that has value? It could be knowledge, skills, a product you have created, a piece of property, an investment account, or a network of people. Second, identify your audience. Who needs your asset? Who has a problem that your asset solves? Third, identify your monetization method. How will people pay for access to your asset? Fourth, identify your delivery system. How will your asset reach your audience? Fifth, identify your leverage points. How can you multiply the effect of your asset without multiplying your effort? Answer these 5 questions, and you have the foundation of a passive income system. I want to close with something personal. I built the Torah Millionaire Business School because I realized that the teachings I was sharing in individual sessions could help thousands of people if I packaged them properly. I took several months and created a system that would teach others what I had learned. It took significant effort up front, but now that system teaches hundreds of people every single year. It has generated millions of dollars in revenue. More importantly, it has changed thousands of lives. People have gone from financial stress to financial security. People have gone from exhaustion to peace. People have gone from desperation to hope. That is what systems do. They multiply the impact of your work. I am inviting you to be part of that. If you are ready to take everything we have discussed today and turn it into a real system for your life, I want to invite you to join the Torah Millionaire Business School at billionaireRabbi.com/school. This is where we take these principles and build them into a complete, step-by-step program that has helped hundreds of people transform their financial lives. The link is in the comments and in the description below. Do not wait. Start today. Shalom.